As usual, we look at forexfactory.com to give us an idea of the high impact news items, the fundamental news that is coming out for the upcoming week. And again, we are fully loaded. A complete full page of high impact news items coming out this week. Even though there's nothing on Monday and Tuesday, the page is still full. So a few items that we need to pay particular attention to that will be on Wednesday. We have the core CPI month on month from the US economy. And then on the same day, later in the day, we have the overnight rate, the interest rate, the bank rate from the Canadian Central Bank. And this is surprising, they do not project to increase the interest rate. I think that's the first time we've seen that from any central bank for quite a while. The interest rate at 4.50% is expected to not be increased and stay the same at 4.50%. We'll see how that unfolds on Wednesday. Wednesday evening, Asian times. These are Asian times you see on the screen if you live in Laos, Vietnam, or Thailand. So be sure and check forexfactory.com for your local times. Then on Thursday, the big one from the U.S. economy, the FOMC. And this should give us a good idea of whether or not the U.S. dollar is going to continue its little recovery, a correction that we've been seeing over the last week, or whether it is going to continue its decline, okay, one way or the other. FOMC at 1 a.m. on Thursday morning in Asia. And then some more news later in the day, unemployment claims on the U.S. economy, and then Friday finishing up with the retail sales and prelim consumer sentiment. Okay, so be aware of all of these high impact news items which do affect the movement of currencies and commodities. Sometimes it's just a knee-jerk reaction, but we need to be aware of all of these. So be sure and check forexfactory.com for your local time zones. Let's just have a quick review of what was in my weekly analysis video last week. And if you took those trades, these are the profits and losses you could have made. The Euro US, we had a buy limit on that, and it opened up on Monday and then skyrocketed it up, gave us a profit of 165 pips before falling down. The pound New Zealand was very profitable, opened up midweek, the pending order, and gave us 360 pips profit. The odd US opened up on Monday and gave us a profit of 130 pips before falling down right back to where it started the weekend. Then New Zealand US, virtually the same. The odd US and the New Zealand US trade very, very similar. Gave us a profit of 147 pips, opening up early in the week, skyrocketing until midweek, and then falling down towards the end of the week. So a total on that one of 147 pips. The pound US, buy limit just executed right on the pending order on Monday, and then moved up, skyrocketed, as did most of the pairs, to 247 pips profit. The USD CAD, we had a sell limit on that, but that did not execute. It just, when the market opened, it just continued its decline, has made a bit of a recovery since Tuesday of last week, and closing just a little bit higher than it did start. But there was no pending order, no execution of that trade, the USD CAD, from last week's weekly analysis. So overall, a very profitable week. So let's have a look at the trade setups that I have planned for this upcoming week. As I share my trade setups with you, remember, these are the trades that I will be taking. This is my perspective on the Forex market. This is what I see happening with the charts. I am not suggesting or recommending you take the same trades. This is not financial advice. It's up to you to manage your own account and to use good risk management. And as always, I start with looking at the DXY, which we see clearly has been on a decline. The DXY is the US dollar index. It's the US dollar compared with 6 major currencies. And we can see it's been on a continuous decline since about the midweek of November 2022, last year. But we're starting to see a bit of a recovery. If we scale out and zoom out just a little bit, we see somewhat of a recovery happening, a correction you might call it, a pullback. Is that going to continue? Is it going to move higher? Most people are saying not likely that it's going to continue its decline. We have seen several of these recoveries throughout this decline, and they tend to be minor recoveries. So it could be that the US dollar is going to continue its decline after this move up. In fact, on the 4-hour chart here, we closed with a long-legged doji. But time will tell, and we have a lot of high impact news coming out, which I've already shared with you. So we need to be alert, be nimble, and let's just see how the markets play out. So we'll go back up to the currencies and commodities. I do not have a trade for gold, all right, because it is bullish on day one chart and bearish on the H4 chart. And oftentimes this can indicate a change in direction. In fact, midweek here on the 4-hour chart on Wednesday, we had a doji, all right, then we saw a bearish candle, another bearish candle, more bearish candles, and a bit of a decline with gold. And even on the day chart, if you look at that, there's also a doji on the day chart. And a doji, as you know, indicates indecision in the market and oftentimes indicates a reversal. So if you're trading gold, you need to be nimble, be cautious. Don't expect to hold your trades for very long. If it moves up, it doesn't move very far. Okay, it doesn't move. You know, we've seen recently that because of the bank crisis, the black swan is called in the U.S. Dramatic move with gold over 1,000 pips over just a few days, but that is unusual. Typically, it will trade in a range. All right, if you can make 30, 40, 50 pips on a trade with gold, you're doing very, very well. But do not expect to buy gold now and hold it for the rest of the year until it gets to 2,100, because there's going to be a lot of fluctuation between now and then. In other words, just day trade gold. If it's moving up, try and take 20, 30, 40 pips. That's great. If it's moving down, do the same. But be nimble, be quick in and out with gold. With the Euro US, let's have a look and see what we've got here. A buy limit, all right, with the continuing decline of the US dollar, expected continuing decline. So I have a buy limit on the Euro US with the entry price at 1.0870, and I have that marked with the blue horizontal line there. The pound New Zealand, a buy limit, all right, with the entry price at 1.9665. Let that correct, pull back, move back down to this blue line here, which is 1.9665 for the buy limit on the pound New Zealand. The odd US, a sell limit, all right. It's turning bearish on the H4 chart for sure. You can see here it's very clear it was bearish last week after making a big move up on Monday. But I have a sell limit. I'm anticipating a turnaround for a possible momentary, temporary recovery of the US dollar. Okay, so that's a pending order, an entry price at 0.6685, a sell limit on the odd US. And the same on the New Zealand US, a sell limit, entry price 0.6265, and a sell limit on the pound US with the entry price at 1.2435. The USD CAD, which we missed a trade last week with our sell limit, which did not execute, and as I showed you on DXY, the US dollar seeming to make at least a short-term recovery. The USD CAD has turned bullish on the H4 chart, so I have a buy limit on the USD CAD with the entry price at 1.3490. And I've been sharing with you for several weeks the Euro CAD, which is a good trade oftentimes, but however, this week it's showing neutral. And if you follow me, you know when I see a neutral signal, which means no direction on a particular currency pair, for me, that's no trade. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you again next week.